Mm.
Hello, Mario.
Hello.
How are you?
Okay, and you, Abe?
No complaints. No complaints.
Okay. I got a cold. Don't ask me
Uh-oh.
how.
We in the rain?
I don't know.
Mm.
And I did get the flu vaccine for what? I don't know.
Doesn't help you?
Well, it didn't. Oh. Hello, Walter.
Hello, Mario. How are you?
Um,
Okay, I suppose.
What's the matter?
I got a cold. Terrible cold.
I've never heard of a good cold.
I don't know.
Okay, you should have a refuah shleima.
Thank you.
Okay, we're on 37, Lamed Zayin. Rabbi Yossi Achorim Oimer, because yesterday we learned that whenever it says Yad, it means left arm. However, Rabbi Yossi says Matzinu Yamin Shenikra Yad. Here we have evidence that the Yad is called the right. It says Vayar Yosef ben Yash Kiashis Aviv Yad Yemino. When Yaakov was blessing Ephraim and Menashe, he crossed his hands and he put his right hand on Ephraim's head and the left hand on Menashe's head. It says Yad Yamino. So there, Yad refers to the right. So the other Tana who said that Yad means left, Yad Yamino Ikri, but Yad Stama Lo Ikri. Yeah. The right arm can be called Yad Yamino, but Yad, regular Yad, it would not be called. Only a left arm is called Yad. Ramnas Noimer Einot Sarich. I have another source how we know that tefillin has to be put on the left arm. Harei omer ukshartam uksavtam. So there's a connection between tying the tefillin and writing. Maksi v'biyamin most people write with their right hand. So tying the tefillin, you have to use your right hand. Therefore, kivan dikshir biyamin hanacha b'smal. You place the tefillin on the left because you used your right arm to tie. Rabbi Yossi achoyreim hanacha de b'smal menale. He doesn't learn it from psukim. How does he know, therefore, that the tefillin has to be placed on the left arm? Nafkele meichad, nafkele Rab Nosson, the way Rab Nosson, the connection between uksharta and uksavta. Rav Ashi Amar, in one of the other parshas, it says yadcha with a hey, ksiv behei, and so the word chaf hey is kei ha, which means a weaker left arm. Maybe it should mean a strong arm. You're right. It doesn't say kaf ches, it says kaf hey, keha, which is weak. Ketanoi. It's machlekes tanoim, yadcha behei, zu small. Acher moimim, yadcha lerabos asagidim, that even if a person has had part of his arm amputated, and he only has a stemp, let's say below the elbow was amputated, the yadcha comes to include a gidain, that you have to put tefillin on that arm. Tanyirech ein lo zroa. Now, if it's had a complete amputation of the whole left arm, then potter not tefillin. But yadcha acher l'rabos is agidim, that if you only had a partial amputation, you still put the tefillin on the left stump. Torah. Iter menech tefillin biyamino. Left-handed person puts his tefillin on his right arm. Shehu smolo. For him, his right arm is like his left arm because it's weak. A lefty puts it on his left hand because for the majority of people, the left arm is the weaker one. If you have somebody who's ambidextrous, who uses both arms, then you put it on the left because the majority of people's weaker arm is the left. Tanve Menashe. Al yadcha, zu kibores. Kibores is the biceps. So that's where the tefillin is placed. Beinei necha, zu katko, that's the fontanelle where the bones come together on top of our skull. Heicha, where the point where you can feel in an infant the area that is soft because that the bones haven't fused yet. Someone who has two heads. Which head does he put the tefillin on? Amar lei o kum gle, go into exile. O kibbel, I'm going to put you into cherem. That means you know a person with two heads cannot live. So what are you asking me such a clutch kasha? Adahachi, meanwhile, asahu gavra, Amar lei sadly anuka display trade reishi. Guy came into the yeshiva and said, I just had a child born with two heads. How much do I have to give the Kohen to redeem him? Also, who's Saba? Some say it's Eliyahu Novi. Tanalei chayav litelo eser swine. He has to give double. Normally it's 5. Here you give 10. Eini vatani barchama mitoch shonemer padot tiftes b'chor adam shomeani afilu nitra b'toch shloshim. I might think that you'd have to redeem that even if he died within 30 days. Talmud Loimar, the child, Talmud Loimar, ach chilek. That means only if you live 30 days do you redeem, but otherwise not. And if you're born with two heads, you're certainly not going to survive 30 days. So how can you say chayiv 10? Shani hocha the begolus tala rachba. There, it's based on how many skulls you have. You have two heads. You pay. It doesn't make a difference about whether he's going to survive or not. Because Beka la Gulgoles. There's already chiyuv to redeem him even from birth. You don't have to wait 30 days. Amar Mar. Yadcha Zuki Boiris, that's the biceps. Minalan, the Ton Rabbanon. Al Yadcha Zugova Shabiyah, the highest point of the arm. Maybe it means your hand. We've been taught to put tefillin on our arm and on the head. The tefillin on your head goes on the highest spot. Here also the biceps is the highest part of the arm. Rabbi Yezer learns differently. Rabbi Yezer it should be for you a sign. It has to be somewhere where not everybody can see it. Only you can see it. So when it's on here, you can cover it with a garment, and therefore, if it's on your hand, everybody would see it. Rav Yitzchak Omerenu tzarech harei oimer v'samtames v'ayela al vavchem ukshartem. So there's a connection between the heart and the tying. Shetei sima keneged halev. The tefillin and the biceps is right next to our heart. Rav Chiyav Rav Acha B'rei Rav Avya mechaven umanach lulahadi libo. They would turn it a little bit so that it faces directly the heart, like we do. Rav Ashi Avi Yosef Kameda Meimar. Rav Ashi was sitting from Vameimar. Havitziri biyadei. One of his garments near the biceps was torn. Become ischazian tefillin. You could see the tefillin through it. Amar lei lo savar lamar lachala os v'lo lachem os. You're not supposed to make the tefillin visible. Amar lei bimkom lachala os itmar. Has to be placed in a place where normally it can't be seen, but it's not an absolute prohibition that it can be seen. Goiva sheberosh mino. How do we know that we put it at the top of the head? Ton Rabbanon. Beinei necha zugova sheberosh. That's the highest point of the head. It's right between your eyes. Never kan beinei necha, never lalos asima korcha beinechim lameis. You're not allowed in mourning for a relative to create a bald area on your head. Now, where is it prohibited to make this bald area between your eyes? It's clearly not between your eyes. It's begovish shabarosh. Malam begovish shabarosh is malkum shoyser korcha. That's where people who become bald get bald. Avkan begovish shabarosh malkum shoyser korcha. So that's his source of why he learns that the tefillin sharosh goes on the top of the head. Rav Yehuda Omer Netzarek, Amra Torah, Hanich tefillin bayad, put the tefillin on your arm, Hanich tefillin barosh, Mala alam b'makam aroy litami b'nega echad. You put it on a place where there's only one kind of tsaras, which is a white hair, which can only be on the bicep. Avkan b'makam aroy litami b'nega echad, which is on the head. Between the eyes, you have basar v'seir, right? They can say love and they can nami say tzol. So it's a tsaras reason. Okay. Now we move on. Tzitzis. Arbet tzitzios makvazu etzu. You need all four tzitzis. Shar bos on mitzvachas. Placing 4 fringes creates 1 mitzvah. And then in the Mishnah said, Rabbi Shmuel argued and said all four are mitzvahs. My binaya, what's the machlokas tanoim? I mean, they're both holding that the four-cornered garment needs four tzitzis. Rav Yosef sadin b'tzitzis ikbinayu. If you have linen garment and the tzitzis are wool, now that creates shatnez. So if you attached only three, you have not been mekayim the mitzvah tzitzis. It wouldn't prevent you from being over the lav of shatnez. According to Rabbi Shmuel, each fringe is its own mitzvah. So you wouldn't be chayiv for shatnez. Rabbi Barahina Omar, talis balas chomesh ikbinayu. A five-cornered garment. According to Tanna Kama, you only have to put four, because the mitzvah is four. According to Rabbi Shmuel, it has to do with the number of corners. Each one is a different mitzvah. Ravina Omar Derav Huna Ikibinayu. A halach of Rav Huna could be a machlokas, could be irrelevant in this machlokas. Dam Rav Huna, hayoytze betala she'ena mitzuyasas kilchasa b'Shabbos chayiv chatas. If you go out wearing a tzitzis, which is not properly placed, you're carrying on Shabbos and you're chayiv chatas. According to, if you have a four-cornered garment and only three tzitzis on it, according to Tanna Kama, there's no mitzvah. And therefore it's a burden and you're going to be chayiv chatas. According to Rabbi Shmuel, you're makayim three mitzvahs. And therefore it's not the burden. Amrav Shisha Brei Ravidi. Haiman de Batsre Liglimi. He had a four-cornered garment and he cut off one of the corners. Lo avid v'lo klum. He's not pot. He doesn't make the garment potter from tzitzis. Shav Yatal's by his chamesh because now it's five. It still requires. It's a five-corner garment. It requires tzitzis. We'll see later on. There's a machlokas about that, but at least according to Rabbi Shmuel. Amram Misharshe, I manded Saire Leglime. He rounded off the corners of his four-cornered garment. Lo ad v'lo klum. The garment is still chayiv tzitzis. My time. The command of Shar Yadami. It's like untying the knot of the tzitzis. You still have a chiyuv of putting a normal knot there. Utna nami. Kol chamosot satzuros tohoros. These are leather bottles for drinking. If they're only knotted without a stitch, they're tohor. Because they don't hold anything, they're not a real kli. Chutz b'shel arvam, except for the Arab ones, they do it in a way that it can hold it. Amrav dimi minardo, Ayman, the chayte leglimi. So he rounded off the corner of his garment. Lo klum. The garment still required tzitzis. Imisid lo maboyle, livsok v'lishri. He could have just undone each tzitzis. So he intends later on to undo this rounding and use the corners, so it doesn't chiyuv tzitzis. In the Mishnah, Rabbi Shmuel Omer, arbatan arba mitzvahs. The four tzitzis on a tzitzis is four mitzvahs. All right, Rabbi Shmuel, halach Rabbi Shmuel. But the less hilchos a kavos. It's not that we don't pass like that. Ravina walked behind Mar on the Shabbos when he was giving the drasha. If sikarna dechuta, one of the tzitzis got torn off maybe by a bush, and Mar Bavashi didn't notice. But Ravina didn't tell him anything. Lo amar lev lo midi. Kadmata lebese, when Mar Bavashi got home, Armele mehosam ivsik. You know what? It tore it off at the certain place where he told him where it tore off. Amritli, mehosam shadisi. If you would have told me then, I would have removed the tzitzis. It's a burden now. It's a masui. I would have gotten rid of it then. Yeah, but v'hamar mar gadol kavod abriyas shedoiches lo sasa shebetorah. Human dignity. So for Mar Baravashi to remove the tzitzis, it would have affected his dignity. But you can violate even a lo sasa shebetorah for human dignity. L'chura. Even though you have a Doraisa Dika lav about carrying on Shabbos, Tirgum of Bar Shabbat Kamed Rav Kahana, the lav deloy sasur. Very important Gemara. This law only allows you to violate a rabbinic prohibition for kavod abriyas, but for a Doraisa prohibition, we would not. He would have thrown it off because otherwise. Shabbos is more important than human dignity because it's a deraisa. But there is a lav called lo sasur. Lo sasur yaminu small. What the rabbis tell you, if they tell you that left is right or right is left, you have to listen to them. So that's the lav that they were talking about. The lav in the Torah is the rabbinic lav. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to learn at 7:00.
Okay, shkoyach.
Oh yeah.